For highlighting with the cap method, you are going to brush the hair out. Make sure there's no tangle. Should be completely dry and nice and smooth. And then you're going to take your cap. You have your lip edge here, little lip. The elastic part goes in the back. You're going to take all of the hair back. On a client, I would ask them to hold their finger here while I slide it back. I want to tuck my sides in, so I want to push that hair back and bring it down over the head. I want to make sure that she can see, so I'm making sure it's not in her eyes. There's no hair down. I've tucked around the ears. The hair is back and out of the way. And I want to make sure it fits nice and snug. So I'm going to pull this tight. And I'm going to make sure I'm not choking the client, but it's nice and secure so that I can get as tight as possible to the scalp. I'm going to take my crochet hook. I'm going to use the hook side up. I'm going to go into every blue hole and I'm going to start pulling that hair through. So I'm going to go in on an angle, pull the hair through. In on an angle, pull the hair through. In and pull. In and pull. Grab another hook here. So every blue hole in on an angle. I'm going to start from the center, work my way out, and I want to make sure all of them are consistent. So as I'm going, I'm looking, do they all look about the same thickness? The crochet hook is going to determine how much hair you're pulling out, and keep going all the way through. So I'm going to work my way through here, going again in on an angle, pulling it out, working out from the center, working my way from the top to the bottom, every blue hole. I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to work forward again, always out from the center, pulling my, checking as we go to make sure they all look even. If there's one that's a little skinnier, you're going to go back and you're going to pull some more hair. The hairline around tends to be naturally a little bit more skinnier, but all in all, you want to look and make sure that the same amount of hair is coming out of every blue hole. Working your way into the front. My way through the front, again, checking to make sure all my strands are roughly the same thickness. If there's a little bit of a loop that I need to pull through, I'm going to pull through. I'm going to finish off on the other side, and then I'm going to use a comb and make sure all the tangles are out. Once you're finished, you're going to go through and comb all of the hair. You're looking for grabbing everything right from the base all the way down the shaft to make sure there's no little loops, that half the hair is pulled through and half is still under the cap. So we want to make sure we detangle everything before we're going to proceed to apply our color. If we were applying a color in a shop, we would have a smock and gloves on. For at home, we're just using conditioner. You would not want to put just conditioner on top because then you wouldn't get what's underneath. So what you want to do is you want to start, and then you're going to work your way by painting the other side, evenly distributing. You're trying not to rub it into the scalp area. You're really just trying to get the shaft and working it up. If you tend to rub it into the cap, it can seep through, cause bleeding, which is the color runs through under the cap and you get big blobs of color. So we want to just kind of work our way through, applying it to the shaft, working all the way up. Again, pushing that up and out of the way. I'm going to start painting on one side and making sure I get the other side, working that up. I'm going to be careful when I get to the bottom because there's stuff that is outside of the cap. So again, this bottom hairline, I do not want to get that. I just want to get what's in the cap. So some people would put a towel here protecting that. You just want the hair that's been pulled through. You do not want the stuff that's underneath. I'm going to proceed to the sides. Again, go through, working it up. So I'm going to pick up a piece, work that color through, working it through, using my hands. Again, real color, we'd have gloves, smock on. Again, we're doing this from our home, so you don't have everything available. So we're just going to kind of practice the technique, and we're going to work that through. So again, I'm making sure all the hair that has been pulled through has been saturated. I'm going to go do the other side over here, same thing. So again, pulling it up and away from the face, getting both sides, adding to it, and Then once I'm done, I'm just going to give it a once over all the way through, making sure I haven't missed anything. If I need to clean anything behind or around the hairline, I'm going to check that as well. And I really wanted to make sure that I'm, getting all of that hair saturated, pulling it away, and then I can sort of pile it up on top, out of the way. If I wanted to, I could let it sit by itself, or I could put a bag on it, depending on the product line that we're using, towel around the nape area to protect that hair, and let it process.